Well, the group's spokesperson, Paul Alauzy, joins us to talk more about the issue of homelessness in Paris and in the mayor's race. Good morning, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Can you just start by telling us a bit more about the current situation in Paris? As of last year, I know there were about 3,500 people sleeping on the streets. The city has just redone its annual count. Do we have a sense of whether the number has gone up?
Apparently, yes, it will be up. We don't know yet because they need a week to calculate everything, but apparently it will be sadly a bit more than 3,500.
And can you tell us a bit about the profiles of unhoused people here in Paris? Is there a large percentage that are undocumented foreigners?
Undocumented, no, but foreigner, yes. I think that's half the population we have in the streets of Paris are people coming from abroad seeking refuge in the streets of the capital, people from Afghanistan, from Sudan, fleeing the regime of the Taliban or the ongoing genocide that is going on in Sudan. And we have minors, families that are sleeping in the streets. So you can have people in exile, people who are maybe sex worker, drug users, homeless people, even French people who suffered, from divorce and depression. You really have all the profiles that you can expect of people who are marginalized and now they have to survive in the streets of Paris.
And the numbers keep going up each year. As you said, they're expected to have
Yeah.
risen again this year. Why is that? Why has the city failed to provide housing for people?
Well, I mean, I've been doing this job, and working in the streets of Paris for now 8 years, and I mean, nothing has really changed. Like the authorities, they're not tackling poverty and homelessness. You can see the images. I mean, all the solutions that we have, they've been social cleansing, police harassment. Everything the authorities they want to do is hide the poverty, send people away to triage center in other regions. We really need a plan to tackle homelessness.
Would you say that it's becoming a major issue in the campaign this year?
Yeah, and I mean that's amazing for us because that was the goal of our collective. And you said it in the introduction, like every major candidate is talking about it, sometimes not in a good way. But for the first time ever in Paris, homelessness has become, I think, the key issue in the campaign. So that's very important. Now we need politics to really take on, I mean, real solutions that they will, put on when they will be elected.
As you said, politicians need a plan, and you are proposing a 12-point plan to help get people off the streets
Exactly,
that
yeah.
you're giving to all the candidates. Can you tell us about it? What's in it?
So we want like a solidarity big bang, So we gathered every association in the collective. We spend our time doing, outreach, medical care, social help, and everything. But we also have like advocacy plan. So we gathered every association on the collective, and we asked them, okay, what do we need to solve homelessness in Paris? So we need a camp for refugees. We need thousands more, emergency shelters. We need safe space for women. We need places where people can, drug users can use products and everything. We gathered everything in the plan. It's a 12-step plan, as you said. And then we draw a budget. So the total budget of that plan is 110 million euros. It can sound like a lot, but actually it's only 1% of the total budget of the city. So that's what we advocate for, 1% of the budget of the city for Solidarity Big Bang.
Those sound like very concrete solutions. As you've said, you're proposing
Yeah.
a budget. 1% doesn't seem like a whole lot of the budget.
It's not a lot.
But also, I mean, this is, again, sort of a recurring problem. Have officials not come up with those solutions before? Why hasn't this already been done?
I mean, there are already a lot of things happening in Paris. I would like if I would say no. We have day centers, we have medical centers, and if you look at the budgets of Paris, there is already 25% that is going to solidarity. But it's not only homelessness; it can be handicap, it can be people who retired, a lot of things. Okay, and people and homelessness would be 1% more. The thing is, I mean, Paris is a huge city, and marginalized people they tend not to be the priority. So we're going to keep the work, we're going to keep organizing action, we're going to keep raising awareness, and we hope that the debates will really be maybe the only one the candidates will have. So maybe this is the year when the Solidarity Big Bang happens, we hope.
As you've pointed out, half of the homeless people in Paris are immigrants, so that the issues of immigration and homelessness are linked. Is that also something that your plan addresses?
Exactly, and this is the first thing we were asking because if you're going, for example, to Berlin or if you're going to Brussels, or they don't have informal settlements and tents like this. When people arrive from abroad, they have like a camp where people can arrive and then they can be registered and they don't end up homeless because it has so many consequences on the health, mental health, physical health. So the first key thing to have would to have like a camp like this in which association like my own could intervene and see people directly, and it would in the matter of weeks or days, cut homelessness in half in our city.
And when you talk about a camp, are you imagining sort of temporary structures or actual buildings? I mean, kind of what would that camp look like?
I mean, ideally it would be like a huge building, like a gymnasium or something, when you have dorm rooms and a health center and that kind of things. In Berlin, they use the Temple of airport, okay, and around the airport they have like small little houses. It looks like a camping, but it's something solid, And when you arrive in Paris, this is what you see. Tents, fire, and people dying in the streets of the richest city in Europe. So that's not acceptable, and that's why we need to shake things up.
What proposals have we been hearing from candidates? Have any of them been receptive to yours, or are they proposing any solutions of their own?
Yeah, I mean, they have been. They have been. If you read some of the programs that they have, they even talk about the 1%. They talk about this camp or emergency shelters. So yeah, our proposals are growing up, which is good. One of the worry is that this is elections, so you never know if things will be applied after. But we're trying to meet with every candidate. We don't want only the left to propose social solutions. We need every candidate to take this very seriously.
One of the right-wing candidates, Rashida Dati, has been publishing quite a few videos where she approaches
Yeah.
people living in tent camps. What do you make of those videos? And is there concern kind of that the issue is being discussed, but not necessarily in a respectful way?
Yeah, I mean, and you can see the videos now. So this was the first video she did with families, and she said to the family, "Hey, take my card. You can call me back if you need some help. The states cannot do anything, but I will do something if I'm mayor." She's a minister now, so she's one of the most powerful women of the states. She could actually do something. And we met with the woman a few days later, and she tried to call and to call and to call, and nothing happened. So on another camp, she went and she talks to people, but she doesn't let them respond. And we did a video so that people in the streets can respond, and that was really powerful. This is not a way to campaign. This is just a way to instrumentalize people and to shock, to have good images in order to be elected, and we don't accept that. I think she could do way better.
For the unhoused people who are citizens, do you know if many of them will be able to vote in the upcoming election, or if they plan to?
Some of them will, but as we said, a lot of them are strangers, so they don't have a right to vote. And also, people have other priorities. It's such a struggle to be in the streets every day and to have to wake up to find some food, to go to see your social worker, to be in the line every day to wait for every service that you seek. So I don't think that voting is their top priority.
That makes absolute sense, and we will be making it, I imagine many people will be making it a priority as they cast their ballots. Paul Alauzy, thank you again so much for speaking to us today. That was Paul Alauzy, a spokesperson for the collective Le Revers, fighting to make homelessness a key issue in this year's election for Paris mayor.